Welcome to Education Today. I'm Hannah Woodside.
And I'm Billy Keene of Armstrong High School in the Armstrong School District.
Tonight we continue with Education Today's newest series, which brings the county commissioners into the studio each month to discuss what's going on in the county. This show is then published to the county website, the district's YouTube channel, the Air and Play website, and on local cable TV.
Due to the importance of this information to the entire community of the Armstrong School District and the ongoing attempt to keep the district connected to the community, this was seen as a win-win for everyone. Welcome to Education Today.
Would you please introduce yourself for the viewers?
Sure, Hannah. My name is Pat Fabian, the chairman of the Armstrong County Board of Commissioners.
My name is Jason Renshaw. I'm the vice chairman of the Armstrong County Commissioners.
I'm Jen Long, the Director of Administration.
How is everything going on in the county?
How do you think it's going?
I think everything's going as good as it gets right now this time of year. You know, obviously we have some big decisions that came up just recently, and some, you know, obviously the budget was a big topic, but one of the biggest things was the health center. But one topic we could talk about today, we just read in the paper today. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, sure, Jason. I mean, I think we discussed this on the way here today. The article in this morning's Leader Times was "Tension Runs High at Salary Board Meeting," and I think there were some missing pieces to that article. And Jen, for me, if I'm reading at it, it looks like employees, 30 employees in county government got salary increases. The board's been adamant that in 2016 or 2016, 2017, that at-will employees would not be getting salary increases as we created a budget. But this article is a little misleading, and I'm sure I'd like you to explain that a little bit, how we came to those at-will employees getting salary increases.
Sure. Yeah, it does read that way. However, the piece that was left out, as you said, is that the departments that got salary increases were over in the court system. And during the budget process, the judges actually came to us as we were doing budgets and realizing, you know, the financial strains that are on the county. They came up with some kind of out-of-the-box areas and some very generous offers. They have a few pots of money over there for some of these departments, such as probation. Domestic relations is another one that has kind of a pot of money that comes from the state. So and it's all under the judge's discretion how he chooses to spend that. So what they did is they came to us and said, we would like to give you money to give our employees in the court system these raises. So the money that is going to give these raises to the employees is not coming at all out of the general fund. It's not coming out of the taxes of the taxpayers of Armstrong County. With probation, the judges have this Act 35 fund. They came and said, we'd like to give about $20,000 in raises to the court system, to the probation employees who are not covered under the union contract. And in turn, they gave us $100,000. So they more than covered the cost of the salary, and they're allowing us actually to put it away so that for the next several years, we'll be able to cover these raises here. In domestics, they actually have a fund that comes from the state. It's called an incentive fund. And depending on how well the employees in those departments work and how much money they collect and how well they perform, they get this money from the state. And the money is to be spent to reward those employees. So
and this is the kudos to domestic relations. They have about 11 employees in that department, and I know, Jason, when you and I went over in the fall and kind of met with that department, they collect the highest amount across the Commonwealth with half the employees.
Yes.
So when Denise came to us about using the incentive money to give her employees bumps or salary increases, based on the numbers, that wasn't an issue. But I think the Board of Commissioners have said all along, we don't have the funding to give anybody, especially our at-will employees, salary increases. But with the courts and incentive money like in domestics becoming available, that was possible.
Right, yeah. I mean, that incentive fund, it's specifically to be used to incentivize those employees and to give them salary increases. Domestics, we gave them about $21,000 worth of salary increases for the year, and they gave us $23,000 from that incentive fund. Again, more than covers it. None of that cost of raises is coming from the general fund. Another thing that the judges did, they kind of thought out of the box, and they gave us access to more money to the general fund. In the we had an audit error that was found a couple years ago, and we had an agreement in place where we were going to repay that error to the Domestic Relations Fund to the tune of about $200,000 every year. And what the judges did, they said, you know, we understand, again, the strains that the county's under financially. We're going to defer those payments. So for this year, it freed up $200,000 in the budget for us so that we didn't have to raise taxes, and we were able to, you know, keep moving forward as a county. So the courts were incredibly generous with us, and you know, they more than covered those salary increases. We did have 2 other departments that had salary increases. I think it was noted in there.
Yeah.
But let me say, like the register and recorders, the increase over the year of the salary increases is $585. She took her salaries in a total for those 2 departments and decreased it $24,000 year over year, 2016 to 2017, because she removed an employee from her department. So these are employees that are remaining in the department. She wanted to give them a slight increase.
And taking on more work.
Took on more work, yeah. And the other one was the sheriff's department. And kind of the same thing there. The increase was $1,400 in salaries, but we cut year over year in the budget $48,000 because we removed the part-timers. So again, more work will be picked up and distributed within that department. So the amount that's hitting the general fund and really hitting taxpayers is $2,000 year over year. You really kind of miss that when you read the article there.
Right.
So we definitely wanted to clarify that.
You know, and too, if I'm reading it, and I'm sure we'll get to it at some point here throughout the show, specifically the health center, but if I'm a taxpayer reading this article, oh, you sold the health center, now you're giving your employees raises, and that's not the case here. We held firm on nobody was getting raises because of our financial situation, and in a collaborative process, we got creative to find dollars or to get the general fund reimbursed for those raises.
Right.
I think what you see here is us working with other departments very well to basically solve some problems we have here. People want raises, we don't have money. So we're working together to get that done. And we're not done. So the rest of the people out there, I would encourage them to not, you know, lose hope or anything. We have some things that we're continuing to work on, and things take time. You know, it's not, in politics it takes longer than usual, I guess, but I've learned that myself. But you know, these are things that we're working towards, but our main line is to hold the line on taxes and not put the burden on the taxpayer, but yet still provide services and keep everybody happy, which is a tough job to do. And it's not like, you know, things were just all running smoothly when we got there. Not to say that they weren't, but we had to do a lot of things, in my view, and maybe some other views here, that needed to be changed. So I think in the long run, our goal will be accomplished, and people will see that. It just takes some time, and it's not like we have $6 million we're holding in our bank account and refusing to give to people. Excuse me, I get a little choked up. We're trying to help, and we're doing the best we can with what we have.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we want to come out here and tell people, hey, this is you know, an article was written, and to give credit, what might be due is you sit down, you're in one meeting. You know, one meeting, you got to absorb everything, and it's tough to do.
Yeah.
So it's nothing again as just maybe, hey, this is what it is. This is our point of view. This is our perspective on it. That's one perspective. There's different perspectives. People come in with you, but and the end of the day is, you know, we're not going to raise taxes. We're going to hold the line on that. We're going to still provide services, and we're going to make everybody happy at the end of the day. So in 4 years, you can look at the whole perspective right there. But again, it takes time. So, you know, we're willing to work towards that goal and take a little heat. This time of year, I don't think we got too much heat. It's warmed up the outside, so we'll see how it goes here. But you took every word out of my mouth what I was going to say for the finance. That was amazing.
Well,
word for word. I was reading down here. I'm repeating. So I couldn't believe that.
Beat you to the
I was
punch.
shocked. So but she's good. That's what I'm saying. Jan's good. Pat's good too. Everybody's good. So, you know, go Steelers. Yeah, I
Like
know,
you said
so.
about the Armstrong County Health Center being sold, can you tell us anything about the buyer and when the transition will happen?
I can elaborate a little bit here. Feel free to chime in anytime you guys want. The health center was sold to a company called Premier 360. Now, if you happen to be like me and get online and Google Premier Health Care, there's a ton of them out there, but it's Premier 360 is the actual company. It was sold for $5.8 million, which was $100,000 over the bid price they had. We just simply asked them, hey, is this your final offer? You know, from a little arm wrestling match a little bit too, you know. But, you know, that's how business goes. So we asked for everybody to give their one last shot. So they came in at the highest bidder too. And actually, of the ones we looked at, all great companies, but they seem to fit Armstrong County the best. Our people, our culture, where we live and how we operate, we felt at home there. Not that the other one totally didn't, but when you went to this location, they seem to fit in. And I think really what you'll find is they own Sunnyview in Butler, which is just right over the border here in the other county. And with that location, it seems logistically fine for them. They're happy, we're happy, and basically they came in and wanted to stress to them that all the concerns, fears, and everything, because there's a change, and we understand that, but we did everything our due diligence to make this a successful transfer, and we're still working on that. Now the transfer time should be, you're looking around April for the business, June for the actual property, because I don't know if a lot of people still don't know, we don't own the actual building. We've never owned this building, and again, we've been putting money into this, so we'll get a little return on a lot of our investments as far as that goes. But the health center, that deal's been made, so we're still going through that process, but that's your time frame. So in case I missed
two
anything.
things, Commissioner, that I want to point out is that the day that we decided to sell to Premier 360, we took the new ownership group down to the health center, introduced them to the employees, and the employees had an opportunity to answer a gamut of questions, or ask a gamut of questions to their new owner, and they, I thought they answered all of them the best that they could for the information and where we are in a transition time. So I couldn't agree with you more. I thought they were the best fit out of the bidders that chose to bid on the healthcare facility. So two, they've talked about, and something that we just can't do as a county is putting $3 to $5 million over the next 5 years of capital improvements into the facility, and that's just something at this time Armstrong County cannot do. We don't even have any capital in the 2017 budget at this time. So, and I know we were very adamant about keeping the jobs, 100% of them, and this company has recently purchased 2 healthcare facilities, and they cited, in the first one they bought, they retained 100% of the employees, and in the second one they purchased, 97% of the employees were retained, and the 3% we asked, like, well, where did these employees go? Did you get rid of them, not offer them a job? No, they retired. So, and that's something that we were looking for, a company that worked with the union, a company that would retain all the employees at the health center, because we do need those jobs in the community. So, it'll be transitioned over the next 6 months, and we'll go from there.
It also puts a building back on the tax rolls that wasn't on there, so that helps out with some income for the municipalities, the school, and the county. So it's a win here. It's a tough decision, I would have to say. It's probably one of the toughest ones we've had in a while.
Just the projection number we talked about last week was about $95,000 in
total
new
together.
New revenue, yes,
yeah.
Together.
You'd have to divide that out of the percentages, but
Right.
that gives everybody at least an idea, a ballpark.
Right.
But,
Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
Are there any new updates at 911?
Yes, we actually, with our reorganization, what we were doing through the end of the year with the budget and everything, we actually have Bill Hamilton as our new director at the 911 facility. He's replacing Randy Brosniak at that position. So that was some new leadership there, some guidance and direction, and to help get us into the future here. With 911 always changing, we do have some experienced crew out there, but Bill, he'll do a great job. We're confident, and we think that'll be a great direction for that organization.
And 2 other things that were discussed, and the board went into an agreement with was the local state police. It was an intergovernment agreement. Basically, it's channel sharing. So right now they have the Armstrong County Sheriff's Department, your local municipality officers are on one channel, whereas the state police locally are on a different. What this agreement does is allow them, when something's going on, I'll cite the most recent was a bank robbery. So it allows all law enforcement to talk together across a frequency. So it's just good for all the way around for law enforcement, and also. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Are the 911 dispatchers then allowed to dispatch state police where they feel they need to go, or does the state police still handle where the state police?
Great question. The state police still do their own dispatching. All this allows is to open a channel where all law enforcement can talk at one time.
Once you're on the scene, then everybody can collaboratively talk together. So communication's half the battle. So if you can't get the troops organized to know where you're at, then it became an issue and one that they noted and obviously corrected. So.
And we started a public alert warning system. We do have one through the county. It's called Vesta, right?
Right,
Is that correct?
right, Vesta.
And basically, if you have a landline or a cell phone, you can sign up through 911. So if, hypothetically, if there was another jailbreak, they would put every number that is registered in the system would get an alert or a warning that there's been a inmate escape from the jail.
Like an Amber Alert, but for the county.
Yes.
Yes.
What this system does is people passing through the county that aren't signed up with us, if they're under the rainbow or under the roof of that tower, any transient traffic coming through, so it could be a commissioner from Indiana County coming through to meet with us here in Armstrong County, he would get that alert system that an inmate has escaped from the Armstrong County jail.
Or as far as like a truck driver from Texas driving through. If your cell phone's linked to that tower, it'll send you a signal no matter who you are. So it gets the message out. Again, communication. And we're taking advantage of some technology here in the county and trying to keep everybody safe. So.
Yeah. So those are the two major, three major things happening at 911
Yeah.
right now.
So.
Is there anything new coming from the county jail?
We just hired a new solicitor in December, so we're going to be introduced to Tim Miller. He's from Leechburg, so we're kind of excited about that. It's not that we haven't had a solicitor at the Armstrong County Jail. Andrew Sacco, the county solicitor, has been filling in with duties over the last year. Tim has expressed some interest, and the prison board voted to bring him on as our county solicitor this year.
As commissioners, you now have 1 year under your belt. What was the experience like, and did you meet your goals?
Start first, you're right there. Hey, write these down. I'm just kidding. So I don't want to take them all. I got so many.
I think coming in as commissioners, we had three common goals. They seemed to come out of the elections, and that was, run a fiscally responsible government, keep the tax burden off taxpayers, and we met those two goals in year one. And the third one, is probably of a higher priority for us, but we just didn't get to, and that was economic development. We did land, I don't want to say we, because a lot of that credit falls on our economic development department, but in Volta, a database center did come into the area in North Point. But would we like to spend a lot more time on economic development? I think you would agree we would. But, there was a lot of things that I guess were unexpected to me that came up and we dealt with over the course of the year. But I would say 2 out of 3 goals that we kind of all wrote down on a new whiteboard I put up in my office, that, where we put all our ideas on.
He likes whiteboards.
I do. I'm addicted to it.
Presents, yeah. Everywhere we go, he checks them out. So
it's just a reminder of what we got to work on when they come in.
So, no, I think for myself, just getting the experience a little bit, joke finding the water cooler, the bathrooms, everybody jokes about that a little bit, but, getting to meet everybody, see how things actually run once you get in there, and it's, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't realize, but, I think what we were mainly focused on coming in was trying to get some of our philosophies and ideas that we believe help run the county, which we ran on, and the taxpayers, we like to believe, we listen to them, and that's why we ran, that's why they voted us in here, and those are the goals that we're sticking to, because those are our bosses. There's 68,000 people out there that I answer to every day, and those are the, what I ran on, what I told them, I think those are the philosophies that I know I'm bringing in. I see these guys doing it too, and I think that those are the things that are help driving us to help keep county government operating in a financially responsible manner. Not that it truly wasn't, but I think there's some things we can tweak. So we focused on that for the first year, righting the ship, I like to call it, getting that thing going. So now we can take some time. Now, Volta was a great company. I think some of the economic, we had a retreat, we went together, put a bunch of great minds together in the county and sat down, and I'd like to believe that was one of the things that, hey, we need to reach out to these people and put a little more effort into that, focus of that business, which opened up more doors, so I think that's one thing. But I know for myself this year, we can get through this year, we have some other things, hurdles we have to accomplish right out of the year here, but I think to take some time and do some more, I guess, reaching out to companies, finding who's wanting to move and expand, and letting them know that Armstrong County's here. So I think that's the main focus, and even if it takes a little longer days, that's fine. But I think just getting in here and getting to know the people, how they run, and trying to let them know, hey, here's where we're at. We can help you if you help us. We're willing to work with everybody here, and I think it's shown that we went through a first year and we didn't have to raise the taxes. Wasn't easy. I can tell you that, because the state, people think, oh, you guys can do whatever you want. No, the state puts restrictions on you. They tell you what you have to do, and they say, hey, you have to fund these things. And also the state is nice enough to take funding away from you. And there's certain things you can't plan on. There's disasters, get into any aspect of the county, so there's a lot of variables out there. So it's a challenging feat, but one I think we accomplished, and prepared to go through this year, and hopefully keep doing a good job here. Knock on wood. So, Jen?
I'm not a commissioner.
I just want to have your first.
I know where you
came in October. We came in
That's
3
right.
months,
3
4 months
extra
later.
months.
So you can add a few pieces. You can take us. That's fine.
I think you guys are doing a good job. You came in and you listened to everybody, and even sitting in the meetings with you, I learned more with you guys than I had when I first started, because you asked the questions and you met everybody and listened, and made it a little easier when we went through the budget process, because you had done that right off the bat. And I think just keep on doing that. Never a dull moment. That's what I always say. Never a dull moment going to work.
Well, we met with everybody at the beginning. Like this time last year, we met with every department, elected official, and sat down with them, and we did the same thing through the budget. So I think right now we've had more meetings with a lot of people than I like to say some other commissioners have, but maybe I wasn't in those meetings or they had them. But I think a lot of people have said, since I've been here, you guys have taken more initiative and showed more interest in sitting down with us than prior boards have. Maybe it's because they're scheduled. Who knows? But that was our, opinion, what we wanted to do. So whether or not that was true or not, we just take it as a great compliment. Thank you. We're going to continue to do that. And hey, if we have a question, come talk to us. Even the taxpayers, hey, we're here to make sure that we serve you. So if any questions, issues, we listen to them. So.
Is there any other information that you'd like to discuss?
Well, that's kind of a somber day with the Steelers losing yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
It still
yeah.
depends.
Have to
Penguins.
Keep saying, it
We're
still
mourning a
depends.
little bit.
Yeah, don't forget the Penguins.
Yeah, Penguins won. Hey, beat Boston. We lost.
Yeah.
What was that soccer team up there? Patriots. That's right. Yeah, there you go. But
That's all we got.
All right. It's okay. But do you guys have any questions for us here? Give you an opportunity to spur the moment. What are you thinking?
No, I
Nothing
don't think
like
so.
that right
I can answer that one. Pat will take the next one.
Well, that's our show for today. We'd like to thank our guests, Mr. Pat Fabian, Mr. Jason Renshaw, Mrs. Jen Long, the Armstrong County Commissioners for joining us tonight. Our thanks also goes out to the TV production students of Armstrong High School, led by their teacher, Mr. Josh Miklos. They were our film crew today.
This program will be aired in the usual time slot for Education Today on Comcast cable stations, as well as published on the County Commission website.
Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District. DVD copies of this and all Education Today programming can be requested by contacting Chris Garitano, Multimedia Technician at Armstrong High School. Visit our website for updated information about the district, and have a great week.